Welcome to In Session. I'm Kelli Pierce. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and every week I get together with my co-host, Dr. Jerry Powell, who's a licensed marriage and family therapist, and we talk all about relationships. Come join us. Hey, Jerry.
Why do we fight all the time? How come we can't agree? What is your problem? Why don't you do what I say?
Right? Why can't we? Why is that so difficult? And why do we get so frustrated about it? We see things from our own perspective on what it looks like in the most successful way, and it's really difficult to see it from someone else's perspective.
Exactly. Well, I think that we both can realize that as partners, we're fully formed human beings. We can make decisions. We are
Yes.
fully competent, fully capable, fully skilled to make decisions. But your way of making decisions is different than mine, and different means wrong.
Mm, mm. That's where we're going to talk about today in the area of conflict as we move through our dyadic adjustment scale conversation.
Right.
So this is where we do the work in trying to resolve what we're talking about, conflict and how we make decisions.
Sure, disagreements are inevitable. It's
Yes.
going to happen because we have two people, fully formed adults, fully competent, who are both coming to different ways of resolving an issue.
Mhm.
Let's do this. No, let's do this. Why do you want to do that? We don't get to the why do you want to do that. It's we dig our heels in. No, this is what we're going to do. I think we should do this. Well, I think we should do that. And now we're in a conflict without any kind of understanding of what our partner is about or what our partner is trying to accomplish.
When you talk about understanding, then is that where we go back into what we talked about in stability, where we make that connection? I'm on your team. We're doing this together.
We're in it. We can figure this out. Now, I go back even a little earlier in some of our conversation where when we're under a time crunch, that's when it's more difficult to come to a resolution that's a synthesis and a collaboration, and we're in consensus that I agree, you agree, great, let's do it. It's no, we don't have time to talk about it. We got to make this decision. This road or this road, this place or this place, this time or this time. So making that decision under a time constraint pushes us into our quickest decision making mode and our least likely to care about what our partner says mode.
Yes. I think when we agree that in those moments, the conflict comes because our emotions are elevating. We are suddenly pushed into a place of, I'm not being heard, I'm not being understood. And most of us get a whole bunch of baggage from our closet that piles onto us in that moment. And we go from, a two to a eight.
Yes, very quickly. And then probably the more difficult thing to do is one just gives up. Okay, fine.
Yes.
And stuffs down. Well, I'm not important. I'm not being listened to. My perspective is not valued. My partner doesn't even care. And that's the beginning of erosion of what could have been a good problem solving time
Hmm.
to a fine, you do it. Now, depending on how that's said, the other partner can hear it as, oh, you agree with me? Good. That's good of you. I think that was a good decision. Let's do it my way. We're in agreement. We both understand. We're both nodding. So this is wonderful. And the other partner is internally saying, no, it's not wonderful.
Right. Right. How can we get so confused in that moment?
I think there is a tendency to override our need to be heard with, I don't want to cause conflict with the person I love.
To be
I think it's more important, wrongly thought, to get along
Yeah.
and not make waves and have an enjoyable time together. That's more important than getting my way. And we give in, we acquiesce, we go, okay, fine, if that's what you want to do. And it can be said very, very gently and very politely, okay, if that's what you want to do, I'll agree to it. But it's not what they want. So the other partner's going, great, we're in this together. We're both in agreement.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have worked with couples who have had that mode of operation for years until the one partner says, I'm done.
Yes. Yes. I haven't been in agreement for years, yet the partner not having the voice to express it. So we don't even get a chance to right some wrongs or build some skills.
How do we open up that conversation? And the other one says, we've got a great marriage. We get along. We agree on everything. We make decisions together. I just think it's awesome. And they come in for counseling, and one is just shell shocked. I thought everything was fine. And the other was going, actually, no, it hasn't been fine for years.
Yeah.
So when we reach the point of needing to make decisions, and it's okay to adapt and allow your partner to make that decision. But if you don't come back and address it at a later point, that's where it starts to build. You may not have time right then. Okay, fine, we'll do it your way. Whether it turns out right, turns out well, turns out badly, whatever, it's not the point. To come back later and say, dear, when we were talking about this, I feel that you made a decision and I was not heard. I agreed with your decision because we didn't have time, but I think that you're not listening to my viewpoint, and it makes me feel unvalued and unloved.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a hard conversation to have because by the time that conversation begins, the issue's already done. We've already resolved it. We've already finished that project, moved on to the next one.
Yeah. And how often do we want to say, hey, let's rewind and go back to that really difficult time that we had and let's walk through that one again?
But it wasn't that difficult. You agreed. We did it. It turned out fine.
What time are you talking about?
When was that? So exactly, because when it turns out well,
Yeah,
and there's no reason that it shouldn't, we shouldn't hope that it's a disaster so
that's
that
right.
we win. No, it turned out well. What was wrong with that? The end result was not the question. That was not the issue. The concern is that you made a decision
Yeah.
that we were talking about, and I was not listened to. I was not valued, and I didn't feel loved. Now, it turned out fine. You made the decision, but I would like to feel and believe that I'm part of the decision-making process too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to hold to that without the other partner going, well, but it turned out just fine. That's not the point. But you agreed with me. That's not the point. I agreed with you because we were running out of time. I didn't want to ruin the afternoon where we would both dig in our heels and end up pouting by the time it was over. We got a resolution. It was fine, but I did not feel heard. I did not feel seen. I did not feel valued and loved.
Yeah. Yes.
Felt bulldozed.
And if I allow that, if I keep feeling bulldozed, if I do not speak up, that's that closet stuff that just piled into every conversation that we have. So it does turn to conflict.
Yes,
Yeah,
it it was stuffed, it was buried, it was hidden, it was ignored, and it bubbles up, it oozes out at the wrong time in another fight.
always.
And so it may not be, well, do you remember that fight we had? But they remember the feeling that they had during that is I feel unloved, unseen, unheard, not valued. And that same feeling is coming back in this conversation. Why are you digging your heels in? Why are you so difficult? Can't we just do this? What is your problem? Well, that's not the time to say, well, let's talk about this problem because you're trying to make a resolution to this situation in the moment. So the foundation for making those kinds of conversations occur is, honey, I want you to know that I love you and I'm glad that we're able to get through and we do make a lot of good decisions together. But there are times, especially when we're in a hurry or we feel pressured, that I think you make decisions and bulldoze me. Now, it might be particularly prevalent for somebody who's more of an introvert because it takes them a while to process information.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
They think about it, they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
They're internally processing the pros, the cons, the this, the that. And then by the time they're ready to say, I have something to say, the other partner's already made the decision, made the plans, getting the nod, and end of discussion.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're also the least likely to come back and say, and that's what we're saying. If in a committed relationship that's going to have challenges, we have to hold ourselves accountable to speak up for what we need, want, and expect, and at least give our partner the opportunity.
Yes, it's very important. We have to hold ourselves accountable for our part of the relationship. And particularly somebody who's quieter, feels that the other partner is more dominant, maybe more introverted and have to process it internally. That's a difficult conversation to have because now they're having to process externally with their partner.
Mhm.
And it never goes the way that they think it will internally. Well, I'm going to say this, and my partner will say this, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to hug each other and give each other a kiss and say we love them. Instead, it does not work. But requiring someone who's not accustomed to processing these kinds of emotions with another person, it's easier just to not say anything. Just let it go. It's okay. It's not that big a deal. I'm not going to fight over that. It turned out fine. But it's eroding the confidence and the stability of the relationship.
Yes, well said. It's not the teamwork that we talked about in instability, that the value of I'm with you. We're in this together.
Exactly. So being in it together doesn't mean that one makes all the decisions.
Right.
It may mean that one comes up with better decisions on a more consistent basis, but they're still hearing, valuing, and appreciating the input of the other.
Well said.
So when in the middle of those kind of discussions, when you're under a time crunch and you're not able to say, let's put off this decision and give me some more time to think about it. It may be the only option is to just nod and move on.
Hmm.
But to hold yourself accountable is a hard thing because it requires you to stir up those earlier emotions, come up with a conversational approach, and talk to your partner about it. Is that our goal is to solve this together. And although we started the conversation together, I didn't have time to think about it long enough and to process it. So I felt that you just bulldozed me. That's a hard conversation to have because it requires the quieter partner to take the lead and assert themselves into a conversation that's uncomfortable. Nobody likes to do that.
Right. Right. And we might get a little pushback. Our partner might get a little, I don't remember it that way. And as you said earlier, our partner might see it completely different. I thought you were on board. That doesn't stop us from continuing to step into speaking up for
Right.
how we feel and what we want different.
Yes. So when that conversation devolves into, well, that's not what you said. Well, that's what I heard. That's not what the conversation is about.
That's right. Not right now. That doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter how we made that decision or what the decision was or what you heard. What's important is I did not feel that my perspective was valued.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that hurts me. So I think when we use terms such as I did not feel valued, that hurt me. I felt ignored. Those are powerful terms to use with a partner who says they care and love and cherish you. I've got your back and I'm in it for the long haul. So we want to be sensitive to those terms and use them appropriately because it is hurtful to be ignored. It
Yes.
is hurtful to not feel that you're important in a conversation or in a decision. So we can respect each other by saying, you may need some time to think about this. This is what I'm thinking we could do. I'm very interested in what your thinking is. And let's talk about it when you have a plan.
Yeah.
Well, if they've got time to do that, that's ideal. because one person has already been thinking about it, already come up with a plan. This is the action steps that we're going to take. What do you think? Well, I have no idea what we were talking about.
That's right.
What are you doing? Well, I thought we'd do this and this and this and this and this. Okay. Rather than, well, give me some time to think about it. Let me jot down here. What are you wanting to do? So slowing down the conversation.
Yeah.
If it's a time crunch, we may just have to bite the bullet, make the call, go along, and then come back later. That when we have time to talk about it, I prefer it. When it's a rush, you can still hear me and still listen to me, but it might take me a minute to put my thoughts together.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is I don't want to feel ignored or not valued in our marriage, in our relationship, in our time together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about couples, partners that want a relationship, understanding that there's challenges, understanding that it's going to be hard work, but that we're committed to one another. And I think that's what we've said over and over in this series is the value of just restating that in whatever language your partner hears best, is that I want to do this hard stuff with you.
Yes, from making small decisions to lifelong goals. I
Yeah.
want to do it with you.
Yeah.
To do it together.
Mhm.